Hello and welcome to Don't Feed the Geeks, presented by the Long Island Comic Guys, the masters of the geeky verse. We have a pretty full house here, closest we've been in a while. I am TC, joined by the Dungeon Master.
Greetings, adventurers.
Toy Story.
Hello there.
And JJ.
What up?
All right, so a lot of news dropped recently. We're recording this on Friday, so maybe a 2 to 3 day delay. There might be more news by the time you listen to this, but this is what you're getting for now. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Toy Story, and he's going to give you the geek beat. Oh, you don't want to take the geek beat today?
I know a couple things.
Let's just wing it out.
I'll do the most important thing. The risk of beating another dead horse with this freaking character.
Do it.
So Spider-Man's back. That's the news.
Spidey's back.
They reached some sort of deal. We don't know what, but Feige's going to be producing again.
For at least one, they're saying, right?
Yeah.
Thank God.
All right.
That's it. Let's not talk about him again. Please.
I want to know what happened in that office.
Yeah.
To getting all these companies together. What happened? Like, how did this get down?
The court of public opinion. That's how.
Jesus.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do after this. I feel like this could easily play out again.
Yeah.
But my most favorite thing is I've actually never seen the movie, but I've seen the scene a bunch of times. The Leonardo DiCaprio movie. What's it called?
Wolf of
Wall Street.
Yeah. This was hysterical.
Tom Holland posted at the end. There's I guess he's in violation. Leonardo DiCaprio's character's violation of SEC or something like that, and he gives a big speech, and at the end he goes, "I'm not effing leaving." And Tom Holland posted that on his Instagram. I was like, that is perfect. I love this kid.
And that blew up today.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
saying it went crazy.
Yeah. I mean, when I think I saw it within 10 minutes, and there was already 14,000 likes of it.
Unbelievable.
He has a big following.
Yeah, no, he has a huge. I think he has maybe 1 to 3 million followers.
Yeah.
Matt, why don't you get a hold of him, get him on our show?
Get Tom Holland on
Yeah,
our show?
just
Oh, yeah,
call
sure,
him
no
up.
problem.
Just call him up.
No problem. Easy.
Have his people call our people.
Yeah,
There you go.
I'll let you guys know next week.
I'm our people, just saying.
So do we think that this is going to take place? I mean, we're going to all speculate about this, but we're going to follow right after Homecoming.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, we're going to get JJ back
Far
into
from
this
home.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's really great. The best news today.
Yeah. All right, let's not talk about Spider-Man again.
It's going to go into the Game of Thrones pile.
Don't you say that word here. I think Game of Thrones won an award, right? For best.
It
best,
did.
Best
It
drama
did.
or whatever.
Best movie, best TV show. We're all glad is finally over.
And I think it shocked a lot of people too. It shocked. It was the best drama. It won the gold. Yeah, best drama.
Ridiculous.
I mean,
Don't get me
as an
started.
overall show, it was fantastic. The last season's an abomination. But
Abomination.
that's my final word on it.
There you go. And done.
I will take over for you a little bit. There's
Go
a
for it.
lot of Crisis on Infinite Earth. I mean, we've been talking about this nonstop.
Huge.
I don't know if we said this on our last episode, but right after we confirmed that Tom Welling was returning, Tom Welling, for all of you that don't know, was Clark Kent on Smallville. He's returning for this event. We've already said that. But also Lois Lane's Erica Durant's returning.
And then Ashley Scott, who was in Birds of Prey.
Ashley Scott,
Love
yes,
her.
very short-lived
Love
show.
her.
I never actually watched that. I think it was only 13 or 14 episodes.
It's on the DC Universe. You can catch it there.
Yeah, I'm not going to. She was Helena Kyle's
Yes.
version of the Huntress,
Yes.
who is an
too.
alternate version, right, of the Huntress.
Yes.
Because there's one where it's Helena Bertinelli, right, is the regular Earth 1 or whatever's Huntress. So she's playing the version where she's the daughter of Bruce and Selena.
Loving this. Great news.
Someone who we heard turned down an appearance on Crisis on Infinite Earth, actually right before this announcement. You jumped the gun on me there, JJ. But Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex Luthor on Smallville, he said that he got a call. He had to show up somewhere right away, film when they told him, and he would not be getting paid. So he politely declined.
Is that what they said?
That's what he said
that
that they told him. So he's like, unfortunately, he's like, I would have loved to do it. He's like, it just doesn't make sense for me.
Okay.
But another release today. So we already knew that Brandon Routh, former Superman from Superman Returns, I think that was 2006 that came out or something like that. They gave the first official look, his official look in costume of the Kingdom Come Superman. If you guys follow us on Instagram, either Don't Feed the Geeks or I think we might have had it on Comic Guys too.
Yep.
We shared a picture and there's plenty of people sharing it, so
That's
it
an
looks
awesome
really
plug.
good. I saw a second photo that Brandon Routh actually posted. It kind of has like a dark look where he's modeling it after the Alex Ross art. It looked awesome. The one that he posted on his Instagram account. Very cool.
Cool.
Nice.
But what else do we got?
We had released today G.I. Joe, the new movie Snake Eyes. We have they filled the position of the Baroness, which is this girl named Ursula Corbonero. The only thing I know the name because she's been on Netflix. She's got a Netflix show called Money Heist, but that's where you can find her. But that was announced today, so
Nice.
I'm excited about this new G.I. Joe Snake Eyes movie. Let's hope it's better than the other two.
I
Or at least
mean,
the last one.
the standout for either of those movies was 100% Snake Eyes, though. Those movies didn't even deserve to be in the theater without Snake Eyes in them. I think we're getting a different Snake Eyes here, too. I don't think it's going to be Ray Park again. Looks like Henry Golding will be playing him. I'm not familiar with him. I think he was in Crazy Rich Asians. I don't even know if
Did
he
you
had
see
a
that?
big role. No, I'm looking at IMDb as we speak, so that's the only reason I know that. I'm trying. Stop pulling the curtain behind what's going on here. Toy Story.
I say that as I'm looking up stuff.
Yeah, but hopefully he can. I think he's got big shoes to fill with Ray Park's performance, and we'll see how it goes. I am excited to see something else G.I. Joe related. Hopefully, they approach it with a little bit more respect instead of like treat it as a farce as they did with the first two.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Something else that's been coming out. So have you guys heard about like Bob Iger's new memoir that's come out recently?
I haven't. Please tell us more.
So he came out with a book, and there's like they've been posting all these excerpts out of it. So for those that don't know, Bob Iger is CEO of Disney, a little company you might have heard of. But they've been posting excerpts out of the book, and so there's a couple about like how Marvel Entertainment, the studio, right after Disney purchased them, they didn't really have an interest in making Captain Marvel and Black Panther, and he kind of had to push them to do that. But the biggest thing that came out of it is that he totally admitted that George Lucas hated Force Awakens.
Yes,
when
I did
he
I
saw
did
it.
hear about. Yes.
And that he felt like he was betrayed and backstabbed because they didn't use any of his story and they went in a completely different direction. And I guess that's something that like everybody's kind of speculated, but that's huge coming from him.
I mean, I'm surprised at only the fact that he felt that way at Force Awakens. I mean, he must have been livid
At Last Jedi?
Jedi.
Yeah.
Because I left that movie and I felt betrayed.
Yeah, I know. I think he actually liked Rogue One, George Lucas.
I do recall him saying something about that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't we hear something else about Kevin Feige earlier today?
Kevin Feige. Oh, he's directing a Star Wars movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Producing,
Yes.
directing? One of them.
One of them.
He's going to be involved in a Star Wars
I think he's
movie.
directing, right?
I'm not sure.
Well,
think
does
he's
he direct mostly, or is he more a producer?
He's more producer and like
Yeah.
kind of just overarching, what's the word? Like
So-
figuring out the web.
So
between
could this
everything.
be going back to like that new trilogy that they've been tossing
the
around
Ryan
for a
Johnson
while?
trilogy?
Yeah, but like they said after this last film comes out, they're planning a new trilogy completely unrelated to anything else.
Yep.
Yeah, I
In
read
like
something of that.
the far reaches of the galaxy where maybe Jedis don't even exist.
It's supposed to be in a totally different area, totally
Yeah.
And that's
they're
100%.
ignoring Skywalker.
Yeah,
right.
From now on.
that's 100%.
Yeah.
So they
So
don't
it
have
just
to hear
says-
any fan backlash on
Yeah,
anything.
Smart. I mean, it just says he's going to be developing a movie, whatever that means. So I'm sure he'll be as involved in it as he is with Marvel,
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
which I think Star Wars kind of needs right now.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they need something fresh.
Bob
and-
Iger also completely admitted that they jumped the gun on Star Wars
Yeah, they did.
in 2015.
I heard that they.
He was like, "We did too much, too fast."
That's exactly what I read.
And
which
honestly, I'm
I-
kind of surprised that he's saying all this stuff.
And I totally agree with him.
Yeah.
I think it's probably
well,
better for
he's-
their image that they did that because
He's retiring soon, so he can say whatever he
true.
wants.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I
Well,
think I just read
it
that he's
also,
retiring
like-
in 2021.
Right.
Oh wow.
I mean, certain things it looks bad if you admit defeat, but like this is kind of like I feel like at least it looks a little better that they're admitting we messed up, we recognize that.
Yeah.
So and hopefully now they'll with the Disney Plus and everything, it's gonna be good.
I hope somebody finally convinces Hayden Christensen to do the same.
I want only him in a show, and I want you to watch all of it.
The whole thing.
That's not
I want him to play every single character in the movie.
Yeah, on this news feed here.
I want
it
him to
says,
reenact the original trilogy as
With-
every character.
That's
With
funny.
his book being published, he looks forward to his retirement in 2021.
Okay.
I look forward to seeing Hayden Christensen in a Celebrity Deathmatch.
Wow.
So one more thing I saw in the independent world. So Spawn 300 it's going through a lot of printings now. It's already the second best seller of 2019.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Beating Absolute Carnage, Deceased, and House of X.
It's because
Well,
Tess bought every single every cover.
Well, you got to realize that there's a lot of people who probably bought all those covers because those were
Oh, yeah.
all standard price covers. But
Yeah, and there were
standard
cannibal
price
covers, too.
are $8. Those were $7.99 covers
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
each one.
I mean, it's a
so
big book, too. It's the first independent.
How many
book
are we
of
talking
300.
about here?
Maybe 10.
There were at least 10 covers.
Yeah.
10 or 11.
Oh, that's not like what was it? When Star Wars went back to Marvel, the number one. What was it like? 30 different covers.
Literally.
Yeah,
30.
but those
Because
are,
every single comic shop needed their own.
these were just so there's some that are like 1 in 25s or special variants. These were just like the regular covers. They had multiple like
Yeah.
regular covers.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean they were like it went from like A to H. Like on the back of the cover, you see A, B, C. That's one of the things I like that Image does. By the way, is they put like the letter behind like when you flip it over,
what
like in the
cover it
barcode.
is.
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
cover
cover
A,
A,
this is B,
B,
I
C.
love that.
I hate that Marvel and DC doesn't do something similar.
Yeah.
So we got a little Batman news. I'm surprised nobody's brought this up, but we've got the
Yes.
little Jonah Hill maybe possibly being.
I heard
Well, see, little Jonah Hill or really big Jonah Hill.
well, it's either going to be the Riddler or the Penguin.
I don't think either of those are confirmed. I think it's confirmed that he's going to be in the movie. His role isn't confirmed yet.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, yeah.
I think
They-
people are speculating
they're
the
saying-
Riddler or Penguin, which
Thoughts on that?
I really can't. I mean, I could see him doing the Penguin
I'm
more
willing
than
to
I
give
could
it a
see the
shot.
Riddler.
I'm on the fence.
I'll see. I'm willing to give it a shot. We'll see how it turns
I
out.
wouldn't be surprised if he's neither of those. I'll be honest with you.
And how do we feel about Jeffrey Wright being Commissioner Gordon?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like Jeffrey Wright a lot.
I'm
Like
into
him.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Some good news out for on the Batman side.
Yeah,
of it.
man.
I have a striking suspicion this is going to be really good.
Yeah.
I hope so. I think we need it at this
Yeah.
point. We need a DC movie that's really good.
I think they're going to take their time with this. I think they've realized. I don't think they've realized. I hope they've realized their mistake of kind of really like forcing these movies to happen quicker than they need to. And I think they're going to take their time and make sure they make a good movie here.
Yeah.
But
So another thing here. So I know I did. I think Toy Story told me last week that he bought it. So Zelda game came out
Oh,
last
yeah.
week.
I've been playing
Oh,
it.
the new
Called
Zelda.
the.
I haven't had
the
much free time this
Awakening.
week, but any free time I've had.
I've been playing this thing like crazy.
What
I-
dungeon are you up to?
I'm three musical instruments away from finishing the game,
Nice.
and I play with my boys. So my boys, they watch me. They love playing with it. They love walking around. They love me going all over the place.
It's so cute.
It's a
The characters.
you know it's
that could be editing time.
well, it could be, but my boys come first. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, but you said they were watching you play. You didn't say you were playing with them.
No, they're watching me. So this game is fantastic. I mean, it brings back the nostalgic of the
top-down
original game with the
Zeldas.
top down, the 3/4 top down, and then it goes into a side scrolling at certain times. And then you've got Goombas in it. You've got Mario Brother characters. You got Goombas. You've got squids. You've got
Yeah.
plants. The piranha plants. It's kind of cool to play this game in this capacity.
Yeah, I'm
Fantastic
loving it.
game. I'm really liking it on the Switch. Reason why I brought this game up is we might be seeing a Legend of Zelda live action coming soon on Netflix.
Uh-oh.
So not much has been. I know this has been talked about in the past. I think it's going to be pushed through. I think they need to do this because of all the other streaming services that are coming out.
Right.
But as of last week, this show is back on paper, at least within the Netflix world.
Yeah.
I would love to see this. I don't know. It's
Live action, huh?
they're at the moment they're Netflix is trying to find the writers, so that's where they're at right now on this.
My concern would be them trying to do something where it's geared towards children, and I don't think that would work.
I think it can go both ways.
I think if you gear it towards children, it's going to seem very whimsical, and adult
Whimsical.
fans aren't going to enjoy it.
Isn't it already kind of whimsical?
I don't think so. I mean, I haven't played a lot of like the newer games, but I feel like it has a degree of seriousness to it. Like if they approach this like series with like a Lord of the Rings vibe, I think people would love it.
Oh yeah, but I don't think you can go that route because it's already been done.
No, but I'm saying like basically Game of Thrones is Lord of the Rings,
True,
or just a
true.
different story. It's like,
Yeah.
if they take
Yeah,
a
that's
serious
true.
note to it. I mean, the hard part with that's going to be is like The Witcher's already also planned, which probably is kind of a similar thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Swordcraft and sorcery and stuff.
that's true.
I'm excited for this. I hope it goes to. I hope it gets pushed through. I hope it happens. I just love the Zelda story and the gaming and everything else.
Definitely
Like
open and checking it out.
Yeah, for sure.
that.
Nice.
That's all I have.
All right.
Anybody else have anything?
That's all I think.
So let's just.
So I have-
go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna point out that October 7th, the Joker officially comes out.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Forgot
And
about that.
if you haven't
Is it
read
the
on
7th?
the news or whatever, yeah, October 7th.
Oh,
It's next week. Yeah, it starts Comic-Con weekend.
Yeah, there's
So,
a lot of controversy.
It's
Toy Story, did you guys tickets for that?
no, you guys weren't
no.
sure if you wanted to go.
Yeah, because we weren't decided because we're gonna be.
to get us Sunday.
it's
we're-
Comic-Con
we're-
weekend.
We're,
We'll go the week after. It's fine.
aren't we recording Sunday?
I'm kidding.
So we don't have time to go see the Joker, but maybe we'll see it the weekend after. Who knows? We'll
Yeah, we'll
see
see.
what
Yeah.
our schedules are.
I'm very excited for it. TC is not. We'll see.
But
It's
yeah,
not
they,
that I'm
they-
not excited.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I think they're giving us false
False hope.
Not false hope. I think they're overhyping it. Is probably what I should say. It shouldn't have been false hope.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Bruce.
but they
please
get
continue.
no. I was just gonna say is like they got what was it today or yesterday? They have concerns over mass shootings at
Yeah.
the theaters.
Yeah, well, I
Even-
think that's mostly due
even-
to what happened in the
uh,
Dark
um,
Knight movie.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the Rolling Stone magazine website here, and it says the U.S. military weighed in with a memo leaked to their servicemen warning about credible threats of mass shootings
Yeah.
at the screenings.
Yeah, people aren't allowed to wear Joker masks, Joker face paint.
I have
anything
heard
like
that no costumes will be allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, whatever they gotta do to make
I'm
sure
all for it
it's all
too. No
safe.
costumes, no props.
Yeah.
You know what? No,
Just go see the damn
unless
movie.
you're a woman, no big bags.
Yeah.
You can have your purse, but no backpacks, no nothing.
Yeah.
No, not those bags.
ugh.
But
Shouldn't be dressed.
yeah, but I don't think it's gonna detract any of us.
No, I don't think so.
From going to see it.
I'm glad they're being a little careful though, because you never know.
Definitely want
Yeah.
to see. Definitely want to see it.
Listen,
Looks-
there's plenty of this nonsense going on without like blaming a movie for it.
Yeah.
Like I love how like people like to like throw blame on a movie for like there's plenty of this stuff happening without this movie in existence. This movie's just kind of shedding light on it, if anything.
who's producing the movie? What
Todd
company?
Phillips?
No, what's the
Director.
company? Is
Warner
it
Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So did Warner Brothers put this out to get more people to go see the movie? I mean, because that's really what I would think.
I
is
don't know.
No, they
Hype-
put out a statement against saying
Hype-
like, go see the movie first before you judge us.
Yeah.
Hype it up.
Well,
Yeah.
Todd Phillips was saying too. He's the guy who actually created the Hangover movies. He's like, it's crazy when you see like the far sides acting so much like the other sides of the thing when it's convenient for them.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
there
won't get
was,
into that though.
Yeah.
there was even heated discussion. I was like, is it appropriate that you're putting a movie out like this at this?
I think
What's
There's no
going on
reason
in
to hide from
America?
it. In my
people's
opinion.
major
And-
concern is
Yeah, I'm the exact same way.
Yeah,
It's like, you know
agreed.
what? It's like
hiding is not going to do anything.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
You can't stop making movies just because there's senseless violence all around the world.
people are making the comparison. Like the issue is he feels that people are like, oh well, he's like a relatable, like you like kind of feel for him or relate to like where he's coming from, and like that's their issue. It's just like you can say that for anyone. Like Thanos snapped half the universe's population out. He just did it in like a more unseeable way.
Yeah.
I was like,
You're right.
Yeah, overpopulation's an issue.
I mean,
and he snapped half the population. That's the solution. It's like,
if
that means
that's-
we should do that.
Yeah, if that's the way people think, and it's like, all I gotta say is like, you just need to open your eyes and ears, and you probably know somebody who has issues, but you're not reaching out to them.
Yeah.
It's, everybody's
You're
got
right,
everybody's got their hoodies down and closed, and they're in their own little world. So.
All right, on a happier note, in 5 days, 11 hours, and 46 minutes, we've got New York Comic Con.
We do.
All right.
And we'll talk about that later, right?
Yes. So
Oh, we are?
Yes.
we're going to take a little break, and you're going to hear our book club recap
There you go.
of Planet Hulk. And when we come back, it's going to be something a little different than reading, watching. We're actually going to do a New York Comic Con 2019 preview. So stay tuned for that, and we hope you enjoy our pre-recorded book club. Welcome to the Thunderdome, geeks.
Wow.
It was better
Wow.
the second time.
Because I think we were ready for it.
Yeah.
Today on our Don't Feed the Geek book club, presented by the Long Island Comic Guys, we are discussing Planet Hulk. Yeah. So, Planet Hulk, originally published in 2006. If you're getting deja vu, it's weird because you've already heard all this.
We just did it. It's a Matrix moment.
But it was written by Greg Pak and illustrated by Carlo, I'm going to read his name off, Pagulayan and Aaron Lepresti. Pagulayan illustrated issues 92 to 95, 100 to 101, 104 to 105, while Aaron Lepresti illustrated 96 to 99, 102 to 103, and Giant Size Hulk number 1. Now, of course, there was other people that assisted them, but if you want to know that, go look yourself.
That's right. We're not here to do it all for you, just mostly for you.
Yes. So, what do you guys think? Is this did you all read it? Did everyone read it?
Yeah, I read
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I didn't
ready?
read Giant Size.
Almost
You
in
never
one
read
sitting.
Giant Size?
That's the one I didn't read.
I did skip the giant size.
You did too?
I perused it, but it looked like, I don't know. I kept moving.
Was it like
It wasn't super.
It was like supplemental.
Yeah, it wasn't super intrinsic to the story.
Okay.
So you didn't need to read it at all?
It wouldn't affect your experience.
Hey,
of the
turn off your
story.
phone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, didn't you ask if everyone's phones were on silent
Yes,
earlier?
I'm guilty of that.
Okay, just making
All
sure.
right.
That was me.
That's fine.
You heard it here.
All right. For those of you who have read it, and we hope you have, if you haven't, heavily recommended that you go out and read Planet Hulk.
Yes.
So anyone who has read it and seen all these Marvel movies, you'll probably recognize that this movie heavily influenced Thor Ragnarok.
Yep.
The backstory behind that actually is, from what I heard, I don't know how much truth there is to this. I think it came out in an interview that Mark Ruffalo wanted to do a individual movie with the Hulk, and the problem was because of the licensing agreement, kind of not as strict as Sony's. Their use of the Hulk in the MCU, they can include him in anything. He just can't have a standalone movie.
Gotcha.
So the reason they did this was because he actually wanted to incorporate this Planet Hulk story. Like,
Ruffalo
well,
did?
yes, yeah. Ruffalo's like I think it'd be awesome if we put him in the situation. Now, obviously, there's a lot of stuff that they couldn't do because they had to incorporate Thor's story as well.
Right.
So basically what we got is kind of like an amalgamation of the two. That and
It's a good word. I like that word.
Good
It's a
word. Word of the day.
Amalgamation.
But yeah.
Amalgamation.
So
Amalgamation.
Yeah.
Amalgamation.
Blah, blah, blah. But what was very accurate, and I think most of us have seen it, is the adaptation that they did in the animated Planet Hulk movie, which is fantastic.
Is it?
One of my favorites. That's what I base my Planet Hulk story on. That.
So I haven't seen it. Is it very true to the book?
Yes, very true. There is some tweaks here and there. I think a lot of the tweaks that they made were probably a little bit better. I'll be honest with you, and I'm not big on the animated stuff overall. I do like it, but like in terms of the live action, I very rarely think that the animated stuff is better. This, I think the animated might have actually been better than the comic.
Really?
I totally agree with you.
So
on
does
that.
it adapt the whole full Planet Hulk
For
thing?
the most part,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, obviously they cut out a lot of story, like quiet
Smaller stuff,
storylines and stuff like that, where like the story drags along a little bit, and you don't delve into like too many of the characters' backgrounds. But yeah, like that's a really good companion to, if you have read the story, go and watch the animated series.
I have to.
Cool. Gonna have
What
to check that out myself.
do you guys have any thoughts on like kind of like compared to like either the movie or the comics? Hey, guy.
It's off. It's off.
I don't know. I just heard it. You said that the last time. It's the button on the side. You click it down.
Mute.
At least you are there with your fishies.
Yeah. Or you'll be swimming with different fishes.
Compared to the animation, because that's the only one I've seen a lot of.
You haven't seen Hulk,
Well,
Thor
the
Ragnarok?
yeah, but I wouldn't. That's just part of that movie. It's not like you're missing out.
Yeah, they stole bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not. I don't really consider.
Very abbreviated.
I don't really consider that a Planet Hulk type of movie. I mean, you just got a very small part of that.
Yeah.
But compared to the animation, there's a lot of differences. You know, there are different characters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll dive into this a little bit. Can we?
Yeah,
Sure.
sure.
Go
for it.
So in the comic, we have the Silver Surfer makes an appearance, which was a total shock to me. In the animation, you have
Beta Ray Bill.
Beta Ray Bill, who basically is Silver Surfer in that story.
And then basically in Thor Ragnarok, it's Thor.
It's Thor.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so that threw me kind of off. I don't think in the cartoon, in the animation, Meek, he doesn't grow as much as, because he turns into this.
He
Different,
doesn't become like King Meek, right?
Right. It's just
Yeah.
Meek.
Yeah.
Same as in the Ragnarok. It's the same type. He's got that same look.
Well, I think when we see him in Ragnarok, he already is kind of like that King Meek size. Because you got to think like before he transforms from like that kind of tiny bug into the big guy, he's pretty small and insignificant in size.
See, no, in Ragnarok, I would think that he's
Small.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
He hasn't grown up.
He's not in that.
We also
grown-up
got to
stage.
remember he's in half when Korg is holding him. He's like, oh look, he's alive.
Well, I think
Meek's not
true.
dead.
that might be
Yeah, and-
that might be the transition
Yeah.
part of
And
going into
Korg
a big
in
one.
Ragnarok
Oh yeah,
is,
we might see him again too.
seem to be a lot smaller than in the comic. In the
Um,
comic, he's as big as or even bigger than the Hulk.
And that's the thing too, where his personality is probably the biggest difference. So I think we kind of discussed this also. It seems like they kind of mashed Meek's and Korg's character together, and they kind of gave Korg a lot of the personality of Meek in the comic, in the movie, in Ragnarok, which was like, I feel like, because Korg probably needed it, because he's a very dry character. When you actually read World War Hulk, you get a little bit more from Korg. It's actually like, I think, a short story. So
Did you read that before you read this time? World War Hulk?
No, so I had originally, like, when I first got into comics, I read World War Hulk, Planet Hulk, and then followed by World War Hulk. See, the thing that's annoying about World War Hulk, I feel like it was during that time where they decided, like, oh, we can make even more money if we have like
More.
25 different tie-ins. And if you look on like how I think most of us read this on Marvel Unlimited, they have all these different tie-ins. If you go to like the World War Hulk storyline, when you go to Planet Hulk, it's just these 92 to 105, and then like the King Hulk, that one, it's all over the place. But the only reason I brought that up is there's actually a good side story. I think it might have been Misty Knight that he goes like on an investigation with, but it was really cool. It's like Misty Knight and Korg like trying to figure out who kills someone, and I can't remember the character that actually winds up dying. But it's that was like my favorite part of World War Hulk. Overall, I enjoyed World War Hulk a lot less than Planet Hulk.
Nice.
I'll have to catch that one when it gets.
I mean, it's worth reading, especially if you read this one, just to get like the full story. Because right now, like, you're kind of left when it ends on a cliffhanger.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Right on.
And,
Yeah, I'm gonna read World War Hulk
I think
as
I
soon
might
as I
too.
get around to it.
Yeah.
And we already brought up the 2010. So that was a 2010 animated film. I unfortunately don't have the information on who did the animated film. I do believe that Greg Pak did consult on that on the storyline
He
of
had
it.
to have.
So it makes sense why it was so accurate to the adaptation. And so basically, for those of you who haven't read it, it starts out with the Hulk on a ship. He kind of wakes up, and I didn't read the stuff before this.
I didn't either. I was going to ask if anybody had read it.
No, I didn't.
No, and the only reason I didn't is because they kind of explained like what happened. So like,
I looked it up too because I kind of forgot.
Okay, and so he goes out and he fixes some satellite or something. I don't know how they knock him out. They clearly must have like gassed him or something like that.
Well, apparently in the story, I forget what it was called. The story right before, I think it was something like he almost destroyed Vegas.
Oh yeah, they said something like that.
The Illuminati basically decided, okay, we got to get him out, and then tricked him into doing the satellite thing.
So people who have read this and don't know who the Illuminati is, I know you were a little bit curious. So basically what happens is all the factions of the Marvel universe and comics. So I think it was not responsible in this capacity, but it was Tony Stark, Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, Black Bolt, and additionally, I believe when they first started it, Professor X was involved. And they originally, funny story, I think the very first issue of there's an Illuminati book, they have Captain America there. And as soon as like Captain America hears like what they're trying to do and be secretive and like kind of like control things from like behind closed doors, Captain America's like, no way. I was like, I'm gonna fight you guys on this. And there's a scene where Tony, it's like kind of very similar to that scene in Civil War where Tony's like, damn you, Steve. And he goes Strange, do it. And they wipe his memory so he doesn't remember the Illuminati. But that's basically who the Illuminati is. It's kind of like the heads of all the major factions of the Marvel universe,
right?
Kind of trying to steer the world in like it's almost like a private group, which was pretty interesting. There's a couple good books on it. I think the villains wind up doing something similar, where like Doctor Doom's kind of the head of it.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, so the Illuminati decide to send him into space. He's supposed to be sent, as you've read, to like this safe planet where
there's nobody
there's vegetation and he can he can hunt like animals but nothing to attack him there. Like,
and he could be alone like he wanted.
Yeah. I have
yeah.
I just want to interject on Comic Vine. It says there's a 4-part series called "The Peace in Our Time," which explains
which comes beforehand or
that was just before Planet Hulk,
okay.
Which explains why they decided to shoot him off. They didn't discuss any spoilers, but yeah, Peace in Our Time is a 4-issue mini just before Planet Hulk.
Nice. So I mean, what do you guys think in terms of like that actual decision? Do you agree with launching Hulk into space?
I gotta disagree.
Yeah, I disagree.
I mean,
I don't like that.
with the combined intelligence, I mean, I'm sure, like you said, that Professor X and others were involved as well. With the combined intelligence of Tony Stark and Reed Richards and the magic of Doctor Strange and all the others involved, I think they could have come up with some other solution than, hey, he's like, we got to get him off planet because he's totally out of control.
Also, like, this was more of an... I don't read Hulk that much, so I don't know too much about it, but this is was a pretty intelligent Hulk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that feeling, too.
I'm kind of used to... I don't know if it's just based on what I've read or
One
seen.
word.
Like grunting, like
I'm used to grunting.
Like Hulk smash.
And that's the thing that's always been, like, hard for me to, like, just jump onto a Thor story. A Hulk story is because you never know like kind of Hulk you're getting at. It's like, I know like there's that gangster Hulk. Like, where did he come from? It's just so confusing with like all these different layers of Hulk. And I'm just like,
so if this was like an intelligent Hulk, like that was their decision. Like I could get it if it was grunty Hulk and you can't control him, but
I mean, you can communicate with him and he understands. You know, so.
Like, I don't know what happened in the story beforehand, but you really had to resort to shooting him into space.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but I mean, it didn't it didn't destroy my enjoyment of this story. It just kind of was like, okay.
You had more questions.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Basically, it's making me want to read that 4-issue mini just to find out why.
Yeah, was it really worth it?
Yeah.
My big thing is just like, why didn't I just go to him when he's Banner? And be like, hey, Bruce, is like, we really think we should do this. you're just such a danger. Like, we found this planet. We think, if you go there, you'll finally be at peace. It's like, what do you think? And just like,
He'd probably be like, yeah, sure.
yeah. And it was like, I mean, but
Because
at
the
same
whole time
point,
throughout
though-
the story, he's talking about like how he just wants to be alone.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, though, like, how many times we're like, oh man, we could really use the Hulk right now.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
it always gets to that situation. It's just like, yeah,
I mean,
all
they-
these guys,
They couldn't find a little deserted island somewhere in the South Pacific where they can just leave Banner there, and
yeah.
if
They
some
could-
animal pisses him off and he turns into the Hulk,
Yeah.
there's nothing there for him to destroy.
We'll come get you if we need you.
Yeah, exactly. We know where you are. We
It's
can
not a
come
big
get
deal.
you when the world needs saving.
Yeah, I think there were better options here.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey JJ, do you have a time count here?
Yeah, we're already about 15 minutes in.
Okay, cool. I hope everyone's enjoying this. No one's live, right?
I don't think anybody's on.
We had 3 people.
Oh, we did.
Oh,
We
do
did.
we?
There's one now.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that's me. The one is me.
Oh,
We did have 3.
Wow.
We had a high of 3.
All right, I'm sorry. It hasn't. I'm sorry. It
well,
hasn't
you're on
been
Twitch, Jim,
entertaining.
watching?
I am watching on Twitch stream.
Oh boy.
Twitch.
I'm enjoying some wine that my wife opened up for me.
Yes, thank
for
you,
us.
Mrs. JJ.
So, yeah.
Yes. She broke the rules yet again and fed the geeks.
She did.
She fed the geeks and with wine.
Yeah. Well,
Can't
food,
have a
Fed
book,
and
food and
provided
drink.
beverage.
can't have a book club without wine, right?
Yeah.
The chicks do it, so
wine,
we can do
wine
it.
and dine.
We can do it.
Yeah, the chicks can stay with the wine.
I like wine.
Actually, do you want to get into the main story a little bit? Or what do you think?
Yeah, so we can do that. I was just, as kind of like a whole, I was thinking, like, there's definitely like things I can see that were pulled from this. And I read a little bit about Greg Pak. Greg Pak's a super interesting guy, by the way. He's like a Rhodes Scholar from Oxford. He's
written some really nice.
yeah,
really
like
good
he
stuff.
has a degree from NYU, University of Oxford, and Yale University.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Good
it's
guy.
pretty interesting. He's
So, what other books has he done?
Oh, he did a lot. He did
I know,
New 52
Com-
Batman
comic
Superman,
books?
right?
So,
yeah,
like,
I read Batman
real
Superman.
books.
He's done some action comic stuff. Jeff B said he did I didn't read it, but he did a really good run on Hercules. I think it was called Incredible Hercules.
Not an obscure character. Interesting.
I think he also does Planet Hulk. World War Hulk.
Okay.
And there's a spin-off, so at the end we'll go and talk about that character that we see at the very end.
Yes.
But I think he does that spin-off as well.
Okay.
Oh,
Cool.
very cool.
Well, he also did JJ. He did Red Skull,
Oh, I didn't read that one.
and I don't know if he's still doing it, but Totally Awesome Hulk
Okay.
is him as well. At least I believe the first 10 issues.
Oh, he also did a spin-off comic on Sci-Fi's Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
All right.
Very very active guy.
Yes. He's a really nice guy too. I think he's pretty local. We've
I've
met him
a
a
few
couple
times,
times.
yeah.
He's nice. Big basketball fan too. He always posts stuff on social media about basketball. Yeah. So I feel like there's obvious things that inspire this. One of the things I read was it was very like Roman-esque.
Yes.
I
Right.
got the kind of Spartacus type of vibe from
Yeah.
the Hulk, and it seemed like even like with his band of like warriors too, like the war
Very cool.
And I feel like the bug side of it too. I was like, I got a very Starship Trooper vibe from that.
There you go.
Which is just like, I love that movie. It's such a great like cult, crappy movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seemed like there's a lot of different kind of points.
No,
of
you could definitely see
inspiration.
Did you
the
know
ancient
there
Rome
were
thing.
there are
I've
3 sequels
I've only
to
seen the
Starship
first one.
Troopers?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like, there's
What?
probably more than that.
3 sequels.
There's
there's-
probably
yeah,
more.
there's
There's
3.
probably like 7.
And I won't watch them because I don't want the
don't want
main
it
one to be
tainted?
ruined.
Yeah.
Even though
I watched the second one and it was terrible.
Yeah.
I and yeah. I do not recommend them.
Yeah.
all right, so yeah, Romanesque.
Yeah, especially with the whole Coliseum thing. And
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it's pretty much swords and shields.
I got
There's
the,
no guns and lasers or anything else like that.
I got the ancient, European, not ancient, but European dictator vibe out of everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do want to circle back. So the main villain is like the Emperor, the Red King. I want to circle back to him a little bit later because I have like thoughts that kind of like almost my only gripe is kind of like related to him a little bit. But I guess let's get into like the main story. Is like,
Sure.
so who's who's your favorite character so far? Like, do you have a least favorite and least favorite character?
I don't know about least favorite, but
I mean, other than the Hulk, because
my preconceived notions about Korg let me down. Honestly,
yeah,
I was like expecting that kind of Korg, and there was nothing like that.
yes. So
So-
that's why
That was upsetting.
it was.
Wait, you were expecting a Ragnarok Korg?
Yeah,
I was
Really?
hoping for, yeah. I had never read it. I thought
Okay.
it was like pulled from it.
So I'm gonna go off what Matt said. See, I was going off the Meek and the Korg that were in the animation
Yeah.
because I like them much better than the book.
So did you see the animation before
Oh,
you
I
read the book?
Oh yeah. I've watched the animation probably 20 times because I like them. It's a good movie to watch. It's just
but in the animation, Korg's pretty stoic too, similar to the book.
yeah.
Stoic.
He's not. Yeah,
Yes,
he's
good
not
word.
like. Yeah, I was trying to think of the
good
word.
It's like
While
TC
you
up
while
on
you
his
guys were talking,
vocabulary.
I was thinking of a word. I feel like he was that same character. So when because I had remembered what Korg was like, so when I saw him in Ragnarok, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty funny. Like change. Like it was like a very enjoyable change to like see him like almost like as a comedic relief in
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I was trying to picture his voice from Ragnarok
Yeah, me too.
in the
But I
No
comic,
way.
and it didn't
No
work.
way, I could
yeah,
not read
no,
that at all.
it didn't work either.
I was
Yeah.
reading him very like
Yeah.
one syllable ish.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Meek's backstory, that whole thing.
Yes.
That was one of the most interesting parts for me.
So that was kind of something that I was gonna say is like I think other than the Hulk, Meek was probably my most favorite character in the beginning. But then once he transformed into like King Meek,
He was a jerk.
he becomes like very like annoying.
Yep.
And it's just like he's like always like, "Bah, bah, bah."
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
No, you're right.
I was like I liked him much more before he turned into like that power whatever the
Beetle.
beetle like beetle looking King Meek.
Beetle-esque type creature. That's what I would call it.
Yeah, I did not like his transformation. Anything after his just it killed me on him.
I started actually liking the other guy more afterwards. Jerome, like the priestess guy,
Yeah.
the other gray character, local.
Oh, okay.
Like as the story progressed, he was probably like my second favorite. And I did like Kiara a lot. I wanted to like talk about her on her own, but like she's probably like definitely one of my favorite characters. Do you guys have a least favorite character?
Eloi.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah, it's like
I could say that, yeah.
throughout the entire thing, the story, I was like, what's the point of her there? I mean, it's like, I couldn't quite figure it out. And then she gets captured, and then she's kind of like disappeared. And then they bring her back because they're going to execute her. And then I'm like, you haven't executed her already? And I'm like, it's like,
She brought nothing to the book.
Yeah, no, she didn't. It was...
And then I
don't know.
felt like Meek was kind of like adopting her characteristics too, which got annoying.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that second
very
half when
angry.
he becomes King Meek, like they almost become like the same character. It's just like two different names. Like they
Yeah.
had no differentiation between like their motives towards the end. And it was just,
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
wanted to know more about Brood. Is that his name?
Brood.
Brood.
I think it was female.
It was kind of a background character. They never really brought him or her forward a lot. I mean,
No,
just,
they
in the
just-
very beginning it was.
Do you
but-
know anything about the Brood?
Nope.
So the Brood are very prominent in the X-Men. I think their first appearance is the X-Men. So if you see what you probably couldn't really tell as part of this story. When you read the first appearance of the Brood, they are a straight ripoff of Aliens.
Really?
Yeah. They're very,
I
very
got
heavily,
that vibe when I
yeah.
saw his face, and I'm like,
very heavily
looks
taken
very
from that.
alien-esque. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
but they're kind of they have like very similar. I think like they basically kind of like inject you with something and then they turn you into a Brood, and like their main dealings were a lot with the X-Men, but I think I'm sure they like encounter like the Fantastic Four and stuff like that.
So is that why they kept them in the background? Because they were
I think
alien
yeah,
lords?
they were already kind of established. Well, the thing is with Korg too, if anyone's read the first Journey into Mystery, Korg's one of the rock guys who gets beat up the first when Dr. Blake turns into Thor the first time, which
they had a little bit of
they show that in one issue. I don't remember which issue
a
that
little bit of
was.
his backstory when they were talking about experiencing death or whatever.
I'm not sure if that was the same issue, but it was whatever the comic. I really liked I don't know what book it was, but it went from the story to it went back to the older comics.
Yeah, that was the one where
then
they're kind of all talking about their origins and stuff.
Right,
like that.
and then that's where he was.
Korg tells his story
Right.
about meeting Thor and because they're all talking about how weak Earthlings are
They
and stuff like
they
that.
didn't know that he was actual a god, and it was like, yeah, I survived a fight with a god.
Yeah.
I was like,
I thought I was reading the wrong book because when it went because I read it digitally when I went, I was like, oh, wait a minute, I had to get out of it, go back in. I'm like, oh, it's the right book.
Yeah. He was my favorite. I liked him throughout. He was the one that was most consistent, I think. I mean, he didn't vary. He was talking about, it was like a lot of people are going to die. That's just the way it is. Some survive and others die. And yeah. And it's like, and these people or monsters or whatever, they're supposed to die because they're not.
Yeah.
I shouldn't use the word as relevant, but they're not like Korg and Hulk and all the others.
I feel like he's the kind of like the voice of reason throughout the whole story. Is Korg.
Yeah.
Do you have a least favorite?
I don't know. No one really struck me as someone I didn't like.
Yeah.
Specifically.
I mean, Alo definitely is up there. She's probably her and Meek. I didn't like towards the end a lot.
Yeah, but I didn't necessarily not like them. They just kind of didn't really do much
no,
for me,
it wasn't they didn't ruin the story for me.
They just didn't bring anything to the book.
Yeah.
My biggest gripe, honestly, and I'll go into it now, is the Red King, the Emperor. I feel like you don't really get anything from him. I remember him. I think he's much more of a bigger villain in the animated series. And again, it's been a while since I watched it, but you don't get his motivations. You don't see you don't kind of get why he's the bad guy. He's gone for so much of the thing where they're just fighting the army, and you just see him in one
the
panel
only
on
thing
issue.
you get from him is that he just wants to exterminate his subjects.
Yeah, he's basically almost killing the whole planet at that point. And then the spikes, turning into that's the story where it kind of got a little weird for me. Where the spikes are they're sending the spikes out, which are basically symbiotes, I guess, to a certain degree. And they're taking over bodies, and then you find out later in the story that they're really these traveling space creatures. I was like, what?
Yeah,
I was that kind of dropped a little bit for me. I had forgotten about. That's one of the things that I forgot about.
Yeah.
From when I first saw it, I remember the spikes, but I didn't remember they were part of this space being travelers that feed off of stardust or whatever it was they fed off of. I was just this is really
sun's
weird.
radiation or something like that.
Yeah, something weird. But
Yeah,
that
really,
was kind
technically they weren't the bad guys.
no, they wind up helping them.
Right.
And it's just it seemed the whole thing of when he comes through the portal and he's weakened. It's it seems Hulk really doesn't need anyone. In this story, it's just think about how he takes out almost all the Avengers.
We froze.
Oh, we froze. Hold on.
It's only been that way for 45 minutes.
No, it has not. Nope, it has not. Hold on.
Poor data stream.
It's a good thing no one's watching.
It's all good.
It's
Hang
gonna be
on.
a tough editing job.
No, it's not. Because I'll just keep it in.
That's why it's not that hard.
All right, hold on. I have to close it and bring it back
looks
on.
terrible. No one's watching anyway.
It's okay.
Sure.
One person's watching. It was me.
That's it? It's still one person?
I'm not good
Yeah.
with fine. Fine is not good.
Hold on. It's all good.
It's all
that's
good.
fine.
Broadcast. We got the message. Broadcast has been interrupted, and we're gonna get
Oh, no.
right back on in 20 seconds here.
Oh, no.
So it's all good. We're still recording, which will still go on our podcast, so it's all
Nice.
good.
Hi, podcast people. You get this exclusive
Yes,
info.
very exclusive.
Yes.
We're getting ready for New York Comic Con.
So so you guys know, we don't know
Next
how
weekend.
to do any of this live streaming.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing all right. I think we're doing okay. I'm not gonna knock what we're doing.
Are we?
Hey, we're back.
No, we're not. Hold on. I
No, we're not.
And we were.
Nope.
I gotta start.
Crashing.
I gotta start the stream.
Gonna start the stream. No.
Now we're back.
Now we're back.
Woo!
Hey.
Okay, so I don't know how much of that made it, but Red King, not a fan.
Yeah. homicidal maniac.
Kyara?
Really,
Fan.
no
I like Kyara.
point.
So at the end of the day, he brought nothing to the book.
Not really,
I don't
no.
think he was. The way I looked at it, he was in the very beginning. He got sliced in the face. He was at the end.
There's a lot of drama
he
behind that.
dies. I mean, that was really it.
Yeah.
I don't have memories of him being in between on any of that.
No.
Yeah, there's a lot of middle where he's just absent.
And whenever you did see him, he was killing his subjects.
Yeah.
So that's it.
So before we get into, I think, a lot of our favorite character, is there any like scene that like kind of really stands out to you guys from or like part of the book? Part of the book.
When he dove into the lava to put the plates back together.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
That was awesome.
That was one of my favorites.
That gave me very Superman.
Yes, I was gonna say
He
that.
came
Like,
out
I got a Superman
fine.
vibe from that.
That the part when the spikes came out
Mm-hmm.
and they started infesting people, I was like,
And they lit him up. They lit him up to get him
Yeah.
off. I mean, that was pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
The I feel like the kind of scene that stands out the most is like that Silver Surfer fight. Like that first time he just hits him and it's just like boom, and you see like the spit
also-
coming out and like the
And then after when he removed like whatever the
The control disc.
yeah
the control disc, and then that whatever that giant creature was that came to attack him,
yeah.
He
and then he just removed it,
he just
and then the
popped it
next
right off.
panel
Yeah,
was like
he's
them riding
riding
with
on
him.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
it was
awesome.
it was amazing.
I wish
So
we would
perfect.
continue that. After that, you don't
I
see
know.
that thing again.
So the real question is, in a battle, Silver Surfer or Hulk?
It's a good question because he
Oh,
has like
wow.
very cosmic power.
Yeah,
Because he was saying his powers were also reduced, right?
Yeah,
During that fight.
yeah.
That's a good.
good debate.
That's a good question for debate. My other question for debate, I'm just gonna say it here now so we all hear it. Deathstroke versus Deadpool.
Not part of Planet Hulk, but
No.
we'll
Yeah.
wrap around that.
But you guys who
Keep
are
that
watching
in-
this, all two of you,
Yeah, keep that in the back of your minds.
you'll know.
I think our wives were on TCMI.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
they're gone now.
those,
It's okay.
those were the other two people. So the
Oh,
three.
nice. So she So she
Okay.
didn't lie
So
completely.
I'm hoping my wife is still watching. Maybe not. She probably fell asleep going, "What the hell are these guys doing?"
Yeah, she's drinking her wine and buying
She's
comics.
drinking her wine. Yeah. I'll take anything you buy.
All right, let's get into Kyara because I feel like she's probably
Yeah.
the second biggest character in this story.
Yes.
So do you guys feel like at any point, like when was the point where you thought that she was kind of starting to like turn? Like it was obviously like when he was like turning the spikes on.
Well, that was the turning
people,
point.
But like I felt like before that
It was building up slightly.
I definitely got the impression she had admiration for him, for the Hulk, like early on.
Yeah, even though she was
Yes.
like pitted against him.
Yeah,
almost.
like she's very she serves her king or emperor or whatever it is, and very huge sense of duty because probably her upbringing.
Yeah.
But I feel like she felt for the Hulk very early on,
Yeah.
and it was cool to see that like once they came over, like once she joined them, they were like unstoppable.
I
Like
think
the
she.
two of them together.
I think she realized when the battle that he was very powerful. She's very powerful. Like
They're
you're mine. That's it.
yeah, together like this world could be kind of ours type thing.
Maybe
yeah.
the turning point was when he cut the Red King.
yeah.
Yeah,
Could be,
I was gonna say is like I think it was gonna be all the way back to the beginning. I don't think she was selected to serve him, and up to that point before the Red King fought the Hulk and the Hulk like actually cut him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was right then and there she probably realized, oh, he is not the strongest. It's like
Right.
this newcomer is
The
the only one.
Sakarson or whatever it was.
Yeah,
he's
is
the
is-
foretold one.
yeah, and I think it was then that she kind of felt and was like, you know what? It's like, yeah, the Red King is done. I was like, this is gonna go, and the Red King is gonna be defeated and killed.
Yeah, it was interesting, like that whole like mysticism behind him too, because there's like they had this very chosen one tag to him, but then there's also a weird thing where like I don't think we got any kind of additional background about how the Silver Surfer looked like a demigod or something too. Like they say, oh, he looks a lot like, yeah, we know, but and then they don't really kind of go into it unless I missed that part of the story. But it seemed like they were very into like spiritualism and like obviously
Prophets.
worshiping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So and it was, I think they kept calling him the Sakarison or something like that, right? The like whatever they refer to him.
Yeah, that.
So Carson
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Carson.
with 2 A's.
Yeah.
Or the world breaker.
Well, the world was
Carson.
also called
Two
Sakar,
fists?
right?
Yeah.
Or two hands?
Yeah.
Yeah. The foretold savior.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I mean, he never seems like the character who's gonna be like the savior. So it's very anti-Hulk.
Yeah.
Did you ever get around to putting that on vibrate?
I did.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what it is? I'm gonna explain this. So I downloaded the new operating system, the 13.0 on this Apple phone, and now ever since it makes weird noises whenever. That's what it is. So don't upgrade yet until you figure it all out.
Definitely don't do a live Twitch.
He's
stream
a
to
liar.
So annoying.
All right. Yeah. So you guys have anything else to say about Kiara?
Did we say anything about her? Oh yes.
The
Yeah,
old
we were just talking
the
about
old
her the
strong?
last 10 minutes.
So I mean, at the full blown access here. I mean, she marries the Hulk at the end. Are we talking about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
go
you
there.
can give as much access to
So-
people as you want.
Well, okay. So through the whole story, she falls in love with him. He kills the Red King. They get married, and then she's pregnant.
Well, technically, does he kill the Red King?
Does he not?
I would say he kills the Red King. He threw him, right?
Yeah, but he like comes back. Doesn't he kind of like die in his own? Or
Which
somebody
somebody
kills him. I thought somebody else kills him.
I don't know.
Oh, he throws him into. You're right. You're right. He throws him, and then those group of people come in.
Are you going to read it?
I'm just gonna go there.
Go ahead.
No, that turning
Yeah,
point.
I was a little shocked when the Hulk had said that he wanted a queen. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. It's like
very unhulk.
Hulk. Yeah, it was like, I mean,
Again, he's like very intelligent in this. Like,
yes, almost like a giant green human.
yeah.
We
You know,
we have a
Professor
we have,
Hulk?
we have somebody that actually said something.
So,
what does that say?
Oh,
Totally killed the Red King.
thank you, June.
Yeah.
June, wine, delicious.
Yeah, so yeah, it was that kind of took me back for a second. You know, when I saw that, I actually like paused for a minute. I was like, did I read that right? Did he just say that he wants a queen? And I was like, of course I knew, you know, the next panel was going to be, you know, him looking at her or whatever, you know, and so I was just a little surprised with that. I was like, I thought it was kind of good. It was a little bit out of his character.
Yeah, for sure, out of character. I mean, reading this thing, I felt like, at least the Hulk I know, this whole thing was very out of character for him.
Yeah.
'cause
Well, especially throughout the entire story, you know, he keeps saying is like, Hulk just wants to be left alone.
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden now he's accepting that
Married
he's king and he
and
wants a queen, and I was
Hulk
like,
doesn't kill him. It's the wild bots that kill him.
Oh, okay.
Incorrect.
yeah, that's
whoever
right.
typed
Yeah,
it.
the Hulk throws him
This is my wife.
wherever the wild bots.
Oh, also that
We appreciate you for tuning in. Then.
when Hulk was like siphoning his energy to the
Yeah.
to the spikes.
Oh,
I
to
thought
the
that was
spike
really cool.
leaders.
That was
Yeah.
good. Like that's something you wouldn't expect Hulk to do. You know?
No,
Yeah.
it seems like I think
Very
he
nurturing.
finally's-
Yeah,
he's-
exactly.
Yeah.
He's come to the point where like he's needed. Like he finally doesn't have that point where it's like he just keeps being chased away and turned away and like looked at as like a monster. Where like he is kind of a monster, but he's like their savior monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Sakarsa.
Savior monster. I like that.
Yeah.
Good stuff, June. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, is there anything you guys would have kind of from a writing perspective at least? Because I think the art's pretty good.
Yeah.
Love the
Like,
art.
I don't really have any
Yes.
gripes with the art.
I thought
No,
the story was
I
very
thought it was
good.
good.
A
And
very,
the art was very consistent through
Yes,
each book,
which I like. I hate when
love that.
they changed artists, but I thought it worked. It flowed very well.
Yeah,
I
even
hate
with
when
the-
they
with
change
the
artists
change,
and it's
yeah.
completely different styles.
Did they change artists in it?
I didn't even
Well,
notice that.
at the
Yeah.
beginning of
I guess that's how good it was.
of the book club episode, the guy who introduced the episode said that there was an artist named Carlos.
There were two artists. Yes.
And I think he actually went into the specific issues that were illustrated differently. But yeah, I think
Peggy Lane.
to what you
and-
guys were saying, is
Lopresti.
I like when they go with artists that are like similar styles.
Yes, it works.
Like if
that
you're
way.
gonna go like Jim Lee to Tony Daniel, I'm totally fine with that. But don't go like Jimmy Lee, Scotty
To,
Young.
like,
Not to say I
yeah.
don't like Scotty Young, but like Scotty Young has a
Totally
entirely different look
Different work.
to
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
book you're.
As far
you're
as the
reading.
writing, I thought it was a very good balance between exposition and action.
Oh, indeed.
I did.
I thought it was good too.
Because usually I look for that kind of balance because I'm more of an generally more of an exposition kind of guy.
I can
I
see
like
that.
I like the build up of story behind
Yeah,
things.
I just wished it could have been a little bit more in the fight scenes. They just seem to like
Happen really quickly.
they
Yeah,
they
one or two
happen
hits.
and then it's like there's one or two panels and then it's done. And I was like okay, it's like I understand, Hulk is, the strongest thing in the universe, supposedly.
Still, you could drag it out a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's like he still needs to like smash them all up, and it's like you could do more than just like 2 or 3 panels.
They had
Yeah,
to throw
I feel
that.
like at least 2 to 3 pages would have been good for that.
Well,
They had to throw that Lord of the Rings, walk in on every book because it seemed like they were walking forever, right?
yes, traveling, yes.
The real question was, I don't really know where they were going.
Where were
They
they
talk
going?
about going to the steps, but it doesn't seem like they were going to the steps.
Yeah, I kind of got lost during that.
Yeah,
They,
that was,
they were going to that wasteland,
Yeah.
and then
It seemed like the whole planet was a wasteland. But
yeah.
they were there.
well, there was I forgot what they called it, but yeah, it was a I guess it used to be like farm or whatever, and it was like totally destroyed or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, and that's
Nothing was
where, like,
growing there, and then
When he starts
And-
bleeding.
yeah,
like,
he
they
started
grow.
bleeding, and then from his blood, the flora and fauna just starts growing from his blood, and I was like,
Those two
that was a
girls from
little
the Addams
weird.
family?
Was that?
Those 2 girls from the Addams family?
So let's bring that up about the blood and the flowering and everything like that. Like that wasn't even explained. Was
I'm
it
not
just
talking about flowering with you.
Oh my god.
All right, go ahead. I apologize. It was just too easy of a
yeah,
setup.
you had to go with it.
I think they just kind of throw it in there to give him more connection with prophecy and being the savior of the planet. And
But again, there was no point to that.
No, I think
No.
there was by the end though, like because I think that's kind of almost what convinces him to be like the king, where they bring him to that area and like see what you've done. Like you've actually
Like, you
haven't
did this.
brought destruction, but you brought life.
yes,
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
bring
That
him
was
back
huge.
to that area.
Yeah.
Or I should say, his now wife
Yeah.
brings him back and say, "This is what you've
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
From your blood, there's life back in this planet."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had that one dude that was eBaying off the first flower. Did you see that? Did you see
I did see that. That was funny.
that was pretty funny.
I think that was Sakar Bay though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like my biggest gripe is I would have, if I wrote it, I would have kind of made the Red King a little bit more of a villain. Like I didn't.
He was too much like a distant
like,
villain.
Yeah, he just I didn't feel like he was the focal point of his anger.
Yeah.
Like he just kept throwing stuff at him from afar, and like I didn't get like this guy is like, even like with like when you made that analogy to like Lord of the Rings with Sauron.
Constantly,
Like at least he
traveling.
has like you feel like this is the bad guy. Like
Yeah.
I just didn't get like he seemed like underdeveloped.
Yeah.
He was just
Understood.
another character in
Yeah.
the background. There was nothing at all to him.
Yeah.
No meat, no substance.
So I guess with that kind of flows into it. Like if you were to ask Greg Pak about anything, what would you ask? Like kind of what didn't make sense in the story?
What
I
damn-
would-
Or that you would want to get more information on. Maybe not necessarily didn't make sense.
I would have liked to have seen more character development on some of these characters, on some of them. Even the Red King, a little more character
Yeah.
development. I would have liked to
Yeah.
have known, what his deal was.
Yeah.
Maybe that was in another. Maybe there's another storyline with that in there.
Yeah.
But what's his deal?
Yeah. Like 13 issues is a lot.
It
You
is
could fit a lot in there. So they could have like probably balanced it a little differently, maybe in that regard.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would have definitely liked a little bit more backstory on the Red King.
I think I would have read like at least like a 3-part or like a 5-part background on just like the Sakaar world before
The world.
Hulk even got there.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
So you find out a little bit more. Maybe you understand like who the Silver Surfer is that they're
Yeah.
referencing to. Like, I'm sure like that's information that he probably kind of compiled on his own, and we
Yeah.
might even see that in the future one day.
Because isn't that technically World War? The planet? Isn't there a planet World War?
World War Hulk is a storyline.
No, I know that, but isn't there a planet World War? I thought there was.
I mean, I think they go back to Sakaar in the Amadeus Cho Hulk, right? I read a little bit of that, but after a couple of issues, it just didn't have the same
I think
Planet Hulk vibe, so I didn't continue with it.
I think what JJ is referring to, the World War was before, when the spikes first arrived.
Oh, is that what you were talking about?
The whole planet was engulfed in war.
Yeah.
With the spikes, and then I think if I'm not mistaken, I think the Red King came up with the strategy of burning them. And then I think that's how he's ascended to power.
I always thought that because I thought there was a world where isn't Silver Surfer really Captain America?
No.
Yeah, there was a whole I think Meek was talking about it with when his nest got destroyed or whatever, which actually didn't, because there was a queen that survived.
Yeah.
But she later got infected with spikes.
That's like the biggest part where I got like the Starship Trooper vibes, like
Yeah.
with that whole.
Yes, because she was.
Yeah.
It was just a giant grub. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's like yeah, but yeah, it's yeah, there was a world war or planetary war or something before Hulk's appearance.
Yeah,
So-
I think. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You finish your story, and then I'll.
So
I'll
I was
hit
like,
something
I
else.
think the first reason he brought the spikes is to attack that area, so he could find like the old strong. So he basically said like he sent the spikes there to find Kyera, so like he could have her as like his bodyguard or whatever like that. Like he stole them, and then those other guys who look like kind of like black colored stormtroopers who like burned everyone, like his like royal guard or whatever those guys were. He pulled those guys
What
too
were
from
they, the
another
shock
world
troopers?
through the warp or whatever it was. I forgot what the name was for them. It's like stuff like that we should write down in the future.
Yeah,
Probably.
sure.
Probably a good idea.
So going back to that little IM we just got here, Silver Surfer is somebody totally different than Captain America. I don't know much about him. Maybe we need to do another show about some of these characters. But watch Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
No, don't do that.
No.
Definitely don't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
So I think Silver Surfer, I mean, this is a little bit off topic, but he's going to be really prevalent in the future. I mean, as
I'm sure he
you know,
is.
if you're in the comic book buying game, if you're buying big end books, you'll see that like his first appearance, Galactus' first appearance, like those books are like skyrocketing right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think for what is it, phase 4 or 5 at this point, that's going to be like the big bad.
Yeah,
Is
so they're
supposed to be
already
Galactus.
speculating.
And I think I understand where this person's coming from. Silver Surfer. Yes, Captain America, Chris Evans was in Fantastic Four with the Silver Surfer as Firestorm.
No,
Fire
Human
person.
Torch.
Human Torch. That's what it was.
Okay, I'm just going to translate for what you just said. If that was a confusion, yes, Captain America was previously in Fantastic Four as the Human Torch, but separate from Silver Surfer.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
There's a completely different character. Although I did love the voice of whoever did Silver Surfer in those Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah.
Great voice. Very stoic voice.
Stoic.
I haven't seen those movies in a while.
For a good reason. The first one isn't as awful.
Wasn't terrible.
No, I didn't say that. I said it wasn't as awful as the second one.
We won't go too much
Yeah.
into this, but I liked seeing Silver Surfer on the screen. That was it.
And we kind of went into this one, balance of story and action. So, kind of the big surprise here at the end. What were your guys' thoughts when you first got to the end? I mean, this was my
I don't know if I would
second
call
time
it
reading.
surprise.
Okay.
So
But not necessarily yeah.
Did you see it coming?
Not necessarily predictable.
Let's explain the end. Let's explain so
Yeah, to
people
some-
understand. So go ahead, Tess.
So, the shuttle that he comes to Sakaar in explodes. There's like a nuclear
Yes.
level
Yeah,
explosion.
the warp core
Yes.
is unstable, and
You don't learn why it happens, but by the end of it, the ending result is a lot of people die, including Kyera. And that's probably a question that I would bring to Greg, is actually like, how was it possible that she died if she was kind of like invulnerable or whatever it was?
Yeah.
But she dies and she's pregnant at the time.
Well, I don't think a lot of people. I think the whole. The whole planet got destroyed, right?
No.
Wasn't the whole planet?
No.
I assumed it was
Because
the
they
whole
go
planet.
back to it at some point.
'Cause
Because
they-
you got to remember, they get on a different shuttle and head to Earth because he assumes that it's the Illuminati that blew this thing up. And we'll get into it when we read World War Hulk. I don't want to spoil it now for anybody who does want to go and read that next. But you do find out by the end of World War Hulk the cause of the explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Read that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so-
I wasn't surprised.
Not surprised, but like that I wasn't expecting necessarily.
Expected, but not how.
I
it
expected
ended.
him to go back to Earth at the end, like mad at them.
I
Somehow,
actually didn't.
Yeah.
somehow mad at them. But
Oh, no,
to
he
fact-
is.
Yeah, I know he is. I expected that to happen. I didn't necessarily know
Right.
like how, but I like that he. And I don't know. I like the way it played out, like how
Well,
how it led into it.
Yeah, I mean, so you're saying you're not surprised by that it did happen. You're just surprised by like the actual execution of
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Yeah, when I first read it too, it was just like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you go back and read, so a second time is like the second time reading is like it's so foreshadowing that you don't necessarily see it in the first time, but like there's the Empire is like. The Emperor is like on that ship, like messing around with it, and then they go to it again with like Elo and Meek are on the ship, and then I think another set of people are on the ship at one point too, and it's just like the ship's always like coming into play to some degree.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. Didn't expect that ending.
It's kind of silly though. But I mean, if you look at the ending, it's like, wait a minute, it's like it couldn't have been the Illuminati, because they would have to know that there was nothing they can do on Earth that would kill the Hulk. So why would they think that an overload of his spaceship's
Right.
engines would kill him?
Yeah,
That's
a good point.
as if you look at it, it's like, well, was it just a freak accident? When he crashed, or did the Red King rig something
Yeah.
up?
and that was like kind of my initial thing.
it's sort of
when I
like
read it,
his
I was
last-
It's probably him.
gonna kill all my traitors by
Yeah.
blowing up the city. So it was kind of weird.
So I think I think the original Warbound, so like they make this pact after like fighting like their first or second battle, and it's Meek, the no name Brood, Elo, Lavinsky, who's basically like Elo's bodyguard, who dies like within the third issue, and Hirom, who's like the old priest guy, and Korg. So basically everybody except for the Lavinsky guy who dies in the third issue survives after that, and they're the ones who go to Earth with him, along with a lot of other people. Like he has a whole ship full of Sicarians or whatever their name is on that ship when he goes to Earth. And I mean that we're getting into the next part of the story, but I mean that's kind of what happens, and they're kind of going to seek their revenge type deal, which seems like pretty imposing force to come at you on Earth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, so any other specific points anybody wanted to bring up? Otherwise, we can get into our overall comic grade of the story.
I'm good.
I don't
Anybody
think
else
so.
anything?
No, I don't have
JJ?
anything else to
I
add.
think we killed it.
All right,
Nice.
into the ground.
Into the.
All right, so let's start with JJ.
My comic grade on this, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
So was this your first time reading it?
First time reading it.
Okay.
Never read any of it. I'm not a Hulk fan. This is actually my first time I think I've ever read a Hulk comic book.
Oh wow.
I've never touched a Hulk comic book.
Wow.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. But again, I also tried to compare it to the animation, which I've seen many times, and I love the animation. But I really, really enjoyed this book. For a Marvel book, it's probably one of my favorites. I haven't gotten a lot into it.
Nice.
All right, Toy Story.
8-0 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
First time.
Yeah, first time.
Okay.
Actually, no, kind of. I've read the first part one.
Okay, yeah, and I should have gone into this because
So it's divided into
it's
like
really into 4 stories,
Yeah.
right? I meant to write that down too,
That's
but I
okay.
didn't. and I'm
Yeah,
not
but so
gonna
I've read
get
part
into
one.
it
Before.
now.
I've read part one before.
Okay.
A long time ago, so I didn't remember a lot of it. Just what ended up in Ragnarok, but yeah, solid 8.0. I very much enjoyed it. A little too long for me, and some parts were a little dragged out. Like
Yeah.
I think it could have been a little bit shorter.
Probably.
That's not a huge thing for me though.
You know what? I don't know if it's necessarily that it could have been shorter. I think they could have
Filled it with different things.
put a little bit more backstory for everyone else
You're right.
instead of
Like I think some of the
yeah.
parts, like for me at least, I definitely felt like there were some lulls
yeah.
that could have been filled with
No,
other things.
100%. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, some of the books for me, some of the books either it felt too short, some were too long.
I don't even remember exactly what happened in it, but the first one, I think it was the 5th issue after the part 1.
Mm-hmm.
I remember not loving.
Yeah.
Because I remember just after like the whole thing that the tie up of the first arc in it.
It was when they were
was-
first running.
Yeah. Again with
no,
the running,
I think they were in the gladiatorial arena.
it was
when they-
after.
when
I
they
think it was
started-
after that, like from the point where they like when they're traveling up until like where they get the spikes. There's
Yes.
a lot of like in between. Like
Yeah.
that's where they kind of like find
It was
all the.
it was a
all the,
slowdown.
like,
a lot of the
Meek's
middle
family.
like slowed down for me
Yeah.
greatly.
No,
Yeah.
I agree.
And yeah, I like the stuff like Meek's family.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see more of that kind of thing.
I feel like in the middle, like so, I got through the first few again really quickly.
Yeah.
The middle, I dragged with him, and then by the end, like I flew through it again because
Exactly.
it was like really good reading. So what about
Kinda
you,
like
Dungeon
the-
Master? Sorry,
I'm gonna give it a 9.
9. Okay.
I really enjoyed it. Other stuff from Greg Pak. I followed Totally Awesome Hulk for like the first 10 issues, and then he also did the Red Skull. The stories and all 3 of them were really great. So I will have to agree. It's like the middle kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
I think there could have been a little bit more backstory in some of the other Warbound
Yeah.
characters. But otherwise, it's a solid story. And it's like I read it almost in one night. All 15 books?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, it's like I read the first 4. Which
I read
is
the first 4, and then I read the rest of them in one sitting.
Yeah, it's
So
like
two sittings.
once I just started, and I was like, I just wanted the next one because I kept wanting to know what was going on.
Yeah.
So the story really kept you going, which is something really good. I think, even though it was 15 books, I think they could have made it even a little bit longer. Just
Longer.
just with
Okay, interesting.
just with more of the story with the Red King and some of the other characters.
But see, that's where I can I would have rather seen that than some other stuff that they showed.
Right.
So I don't know about necessarily longer, but maybe showed some different stuff.
Replacing,
Yeah,
yeah.
replacing some stuff.
Replacing some of the stuff that
Just
they
some of the
had, yeah.
slower parts.
Yeah, I feel like there's a
guess.
couple issues where I'm just like, yeah. So was this your first time reading it?
My first time reading it, yes.
Oh,
I
wow.
knew about it, and I've big fan of the Hulk in general.
Do you have the actual issues?
No,
he's
I read it digital.
he's
I read it
putting
digital.
He used my account. Let's just
yeah.
you use my account, which I'll be
Yeah.
changing the password tonight.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, this is volume 2. I don't think I'm actually gonna collect them because I'm collecting the first volume.
So
So,
181. And then number 1.
Yeah, right. I don't think I'll ever
Everything
get them,
else is
but
probably pretty recent. Well,
Yeah.
that's not true. The first Green Hulk. We'll
Yeah.
get into
yeah, this is part of the second volume. So I don't know if I'll ever get to collecting the second volume, but we'll see
Right.
what happens.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely a good read,
cool.
and I'm excited to read not only the first 4 that explain why they exiled him, but also
World War.
the World War Hulk.
yeah, that'll
Yeah.
take you some
I
time,
wanna-
especially if you read all the tie-ins.
Yeah.
Sure. What about you? What about your great?
So I'll be honest. If the first time around, if you would have asked me, I probably would have gone with 8 as well. I feel like reading it a second time, it
Did
knocked
you
it
notice
down
a lot
little
more?
bit.
Oh, knocked it down, really?
Yeah, so like I feel like 7.5,
Okay.
which is not too low. It's only a slight knockdown. I
So
think
VF.
I was more bothered by the whole Red King thing the second time around, and I was early into like reading comics, so I probably didn't notice, and I didn't have much to compare it to. But
That's better than I expected. To be
Yeah,
honest,
and I made that before we came here too. Like I had that in my mind by the end. I was like,
I was going six or below.
no. I mean, I really enjoy the story. I think the part of the problem was too is like the different adaptations that I've seen of it. So again, like when I saw the animated series, I had already read this.
Okay.
So like I had read that, and then I saw the animated series, and then I saw like the movie, and I was just like, I feel like I don't wish they changed the story, but there are some tweaks that they made that I kind of enjoyed more than they did in the actual story. So that's why I think it knocked down just a touch. But again, definitely my favorite Hulk story. I've read a few. Overall, the Hulk isn't a great read right now, though. Immortal Hulk, phenomenal,
I've heard that. I really
Is it
would
really?
like to check it out.
excellent.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I haven't read any of
Highly
them.
recommend
I
reading
read
Immortal Hulk. I
Indestructible.
basically say it
No,
every
no.
reading, watching for everyone to read that.
Was that the first Marvel Now series, the Indestructible Hulk?
Yes, terrible.
Yes.
I remember reading that in novel.
It was really bad, and I read the whole thing.
Yeah, that was when I started reading comics, and I kind of was just picking up all the Marvel Nows.
Yeah, it was.
And I was like, oh, this
That,
sucks.
that was really rough. There was some older stuff that's not bad. I've read here and there. Like I read like the first 181.
Yeah.
Like I read that storyline. That's actually a really good one. Like 180, 181, 182. He has some good stuff. Like his interactions with Wolverine. Like when
That's
he's
with the
like the
cat guy,
gangster
right?
version. With what?
No, I'm kidding.
The
The
cat
cat
guy.
Yeah. My cousin, huge X-Men fan. He named like they had like cats and animals, and all of them were like
Different
X-Men. Like
That's
they
awesome.
had a dog which was called Beast, and this guy was a monster. They had a cat named Wolverine. It was fun. Yeah, but it's I don't want it to sound like I didn't enjoy the story. 7.5 is, if you've heard some of my other ratings, pretty
That's
high.
amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
I mean, it wasn't as high. What did I give Long Halloween? A 9 or a
Yeah.
9.2?
I think you gave it 9 too.
Yeah, I mean, Long Halloween's probably one of the best stories that I've read.
Well, that deserves that,
Yeah.
though. That's
But yeah, 7.5. I think.
Alright,
I
that's
think
good.
it's a solid
Nice.
read. Only small tweaks here or there, but yeah, good story.
so.
Would I read it again? I don't know.
I wouldn't read that again.
This you see the second time around. I
If it was like a 6-issue story, sure.
yeah, it was when I looked at it, 15. I was like,
I know. And then when I saw that 100-page number, that 85-page number 100, I was like, oh no.
you know, I did the same thing. I was like, oh my god, I was like, because I was like, and it,
Because I was timing it per issue. Like it was late last night when I was trying to read it.
It's-
And
it's funny because I was going through like I had read 99. I was like, all right, I'll read one more. I'll read this 100, and then I open it up. I see 85 pages at the top. I was like, what? And then I go to like the page view, and I see like it goes down. And, like at 20 pages, it changes to a completely different color, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is an old story. Forget it. I was like, fine, I'll read it.
see, that's smart. I didn't do
Yeah.
that. I just kept going through, and then I was
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised when I got to page 24. And I was like,
That's
oh,
hilarious.
it changes.
Yeah,
You got further than I did in that one. I skipped that one.
You didn't even read it?
Which one is that? That 100? Which one?
Number
The
100.
The giant size.
The
No,
giant
not the
size.
giant size. Number
Oh.
100.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
the
yeah,
100.
yeah,
No, the giant
yeah.
size I didn't read.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
me
giant
neither.
size. I did the same thing. I went through that, and I just read what I thought was
Supplemental, right?
prevalence of the story. Yeah, it's basically so in the giant size, it's kind of like an internal debate between Bruce Banner and the Hulk, and it's funny. Like the only funny scene is like Meek opens his eyes real quickly, and he sees like the Hulk there as like Bruce
Hulk is
Banner,
talking
like
to
sitting
himself.
there,
Oh yeah.
and he like. And he goes like this and looks again, and then,
And then
it's the
it's the
Hulk again.
Hulk.
He goes, "Oh." It's like, that was actually pretty funny.
That was funny.
And that's something we didn't bring up. So there was a few panels that he became Bruce Banner.
Yeah, with what's her face?
yes,
Yes.
with
With the girl, which
to
was-
show him who he really
which
is.
was a little
Yeah,
interesting.
when they were getting married, you know, she's like, I want to know
All of you.
the
Yeah.
real you and all of you, and then he was like, okay, and then he just changed, and I'm like, wow, and then surprisingly, she just like grabbed his head and started making out with him,
yeah.
Yeah.
making out with Bruce Banner, not the Hulk. I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah, but then
okay,
as the passion intensified, he quickly turns back to green.
oh yeah,
as you noticed, which
Yeah.
I thought was pretty cool. I like.
Gotta-
I
gotta
like
give
that
her the Hulk.
Yeah, I like that transition.
Yeah, that was good.
Of that scene, in particular.
That was
Good
good.
stuff.
All right, so
That about wraps it up.
yeah, we'll see what it's next time. So this will be followed by reading, watching.
Yes.
So don't
Yep.
sign off on the podcast. But people who are watching live on YouTube, which we didn't have many people watching right now, but hopefully more of you catch it on YouTube. I know a lot of our crew is unavailable today.
Well, one of them just popped on. Who is that? Oz? I can't
Who is
watch.
Oh,
Not
Ozzy.
sure what he says. I can't watch.
Hey, buddy.
It's all right.
What's up,
Oz.
Ozzy?
At least you chimed in, so you get credit.
Yeah, you're good. That counts.
You and Courtney are the only ones to get credit so far. I'm going on a witch hunt for the rest of those guys.
All of them. So if you guys if anybody gets a chance to watch this or hear this on it, because we're going to release this on our podcast. So if you get a chance to listen to us, give us your thoughts, your comments on this book. We'd love to hear your grade on this book. If you've read it, tell us your grade. What's your thoughts on it?
On a 10 comic grade scale.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love to know that.
Yeah.
There you go.
And we will be back next month.
So
Yes, yeah.
do we know what we're doing? Or are we
No,
gonna...
I think we're gonna take some suggestions. Actually, no, we do know what we're doing, right? We wrote it out.
we did. So
We won't release what it is yet.
Oh, I remember what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll not say.
we'll give this a week, maybe a week,
Yeah.
maybe after New York Comic Con, because we'll
Yeah.
be at New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we will.
Stay
We
tuned
will-
for that. We're gonna be
yeah.
doing a lot of live streaming and sharing there.
We're gonna be overloading. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna
Yeah.
be very dedicated to doing a lot of live streams and giving people updates
I
about
mean, we
what's
might-
going on.
You know, there's
We'll
gonna
live
be
stream.
4 or 5 of us there. We might even put them on different things at different times if
Yeah.
we break off into.
We'll
Yeah.
live stream us spending way too much money, as usual.
My wife is still on.
Oh, hey, Jim.
She's the one
Go
who
Jim.
encourages
Yeah.
you to do it.
I'm bringing her with me. All right. So go for it.
No, we don't do that here.
We're not doing that here.
No.
All right. Well, I usually
No.
do it on the podcast.
Yeah, no, we do it. On the
Okay.
podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so this is where we're gonna end for those of you who with us live or watching on the YouTube. You'll hear for those listening on the podcast, you'll be hearing reading, watching, or maybe it's something different. We don't even know. We might even do something different. All right, well, thanks for watching, and stay
Thank you,
tuned
everyone.
for the announcement for next month.
All right. Thank you.
Take care. All right, that was awesome.
All right. That was good.
Oh, that was me going back into it.
Yes, very good. No technical difficulties at all. Yeah.
No malfunctions.
We appreciate the people who checked in live, and we hope a lot of you maybe watch. You can still watch it live on YouTube,
Yes, you can.
and you can listen to it, and you just listen to it here.
Yeah.
So
And we'll announce
that's
the
it.
next one very soon.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Actually, do you want to do it now?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do God Country.
Oh,
Next month.
wow! Just
God
like that.
Yes,
Country
God Country
by
will
Image.
be
from
the-
Image.
From Image, God Country.
Yep.
The October book.
Yeah, I think it's
You want to
only
even
two-
do the November one? No.
No. Yeah, so God Country, we're very excited for that.
Yes.
Changing it up with an independent a little bit.
All right.
We're gonna try to mix
Nice.
it up between independent and the big two.
God Country. Good stuff.
So I wanted to kind of mix this up a little bit. I know we do a lot of reading, watching, and it could get a little disinterested if you're doing the same thing all the time. So we're going to do a little bit of a preview. I think most of us are planning to go to New York Comic Con
Oh,
at least a
yes.
few days. We plan to do a lot of sharing there, live streaming, everything we can do, stuff that we pick up, people we talk to, maybe some future interviews we'll have lined up for you guys. But I wanted to go into what you guys are most excited about this year at New York Comic Con. JJ, I want to hear from you first because you have something cool that you're working on.
So yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited for this show. So first of all, we get to see all of our friends, our artist friends. Kreese and Billy Tucci and
Yeah.
Chris
you know,
Campana.
Chris Campana, Vaughn, all these guys. We only really get to see these guys when we go to these shows. So it's good to connect with these guys, and maybe pick up some new art. I know a lot of us are into the art scene.
We'll get into that when it comes around.
There you go. So hopefully, what I'm more excited about is I've never met the guy. My poster. Yeah. So I have another poster. I have my Star Wars poster, and then I have another poster which I just picked up. I'm a big Pearl Jam fan. Been a Pearl Jam fan club member, a 10 Club member for a long time. Seen them in concert many times. I've taken the DM once or twice to a Pearl Jam concert because I get pretty good
Awesome
seats.
show.
They were
Awesome
good stuff. So I ended up. I'm not a big poster fan, a concert poster fan, just because it's just more crap to put up on the walls. But Pearl Jam did a concert poster back in 2012 in Copenhagen, and they had Todd McFarlane do the poster. So it's a really I've posted this on our Instagram and our Facebook and everything like that. But it's a Spawn character with a giant battle axe standing on top of a squid or an octopus, and it's pretty huge. It's just such a beautiful what I like to think it gives me both my my love of Pearl Jam and my love of comics. It puts it into one. It's a great crossover. And what I love about it, I haven't done it yet, but you hit it with the black light, the damn thing lights up. Like it's got a lot of orange. It's pretty cool, orange and green, but it's a big giant spawn. I got it framed a couple months ago, but I'm gonna have it ripped out of its frame this weekend and rolled up, and I'm hoping to get myself a wristband to get Todd to sign it, because I don't think he signed too many of these. I'm gonna bet I'm gonna be the only one with his signature on this.
I really, cool. If you don't do any other live recording, I really want you to record when you go up there, because I don't know if we're gonna be able to go with you when you do that.
Yeah.
So if we're not, I absolutely want you to record this.
You think I could secretly just turn my iPhone on and record it?
I'm sure.
I don't think he'd have a problem with you recording it at all.
Yeah. Well, I'll find out.
So do you know if he's done any other posters?
So yes. So he, along with Pearl Jam. So Pearl Jam did a video, "Do the Evolution." It's the Evolution song. It's a great song, awesome song. Todd did the whole. The video is animation. He did the
He's
entire
a Pearl
video.
Jam fan, I assume.
He's a huge Pearl Jam fan.
Awesome video.
He also did the album cover to Korn, "Freak on the Leash." So if you ever see the Korn album, it's a little girl standing over the edge of a cliff looking down. That's a Todd McFarlane, which is pretty cool.
That's cool. But he's never done any other for Pearl Jam?
No, that's the only one he's done.
Wow,
Besides the video that he did.
For Copenhagen, like, that's pretty random that he would do it for like somewhere like that.
You know, they've got I love Pearl Jam posters because they're so different. I know, and I wish I would have grabbed this one, because right now it's so. I think the cheapest I've seen was $2,000, and I went to the show. So it was the Madison Square Garden show back in 2017, 16 or 17. I don't remember the year, but it's a Donkey Kong. It's Donkey Kong. I think, Matt, you saw this.
I did, yeah.
Because you
awesome.
you liked one of my. So that's another poster. Like, they did a Donkey Kong and there's little Galagas in there and everything else like that. So they're very different on their posters.
Yeah.
They even have a Batman poster with the with the original 1966 Bat car on it, which is pretty cool.
That's Pearl Jam as well.
Pearl Jam.
So they're clearly fans.
I don't know.
Fans, right?
I don't know if they're comic book fans. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. It's just they're just very different, very different. But
Very
Todd,
cool.
I only know them doing this poster and then the video and then the Korn album cover for Freak on the Leash.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. So I'm so excited to get this signed, because again,
Hopefully.
Hopefully, God, I'm praying. I'm gonna pull some strings. I'm gonna try to do what I can. I don't think it's gonna be that big of an issue. I'm hoping.
Calling some favors for this one.
I'm gonna call some favors, because I can guarantee you, I don't think he's signed many of these posters. I'm gonna have to.
And that's the thing I'm most interested in finding out, how many of those he's actually signed.
You're right, because I think it's gonna be a talk when I get up there and bring this. I think he's going to. I'm hoping that he's gonna talk about it.
I think he's gonna enjoy seeing something like that more than like the
Different than a
people
comic book.
Yeah, because he's very strict with his rules at Comic-Con. Like, people who get comic book signs probably knows that he only does like 1 or 2 private signings a year that you can actually get witness grading on. Yep. Like, he does not allow any signings he does, especially at New York Comic-Con. You're not allowed to witness. You're not allowed to submit them. You can get them signed. I think you're only allowed like 2 submissions.
Yep.
And it's pretty strict. Like,
and he does no sketches at the table.
Yeah,
either.
no sketch. I mean, I feel like that goes without saying.
And that's something I'm going to ask him, if he could do a small sketch on that poster. I'm going to ask. I'm going
Can't
to
hurt to ask.
I'm going to ask.
Yeah. All he can do is say
again,
no.
It's such a special thing he made.
How often has he seen that? That's my thing. Is he hasn't seen this?
Probably.
I mean, he's seen it, but he hasn't. I don't think he's touched one to sign.
I would honestly say, as like, hey, it'd be really cool if you could do like the quickest remark possible on this.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you do like a spawn head real quick.
Maybe. I'm gonna ask. It's not gonna.
No,
hurt.
The worst thing he could do is say no, and
because I'm gonna, and I'll even beg and plead, like, this is mine. I'm not selling this. This is mine. I'm a huge Pearl Jam. I will give you my Pearl Jam member number, because it's low enough that you can check it if you want.
It's low enough.
Is there anything else you're looking forward to getting there? Or checking out?
I'm gonna check out. I've started my run of Aquaman Volume 1. I got the first one. I just recently got a present. It was Aquaman number 29, first appearance of Ocean Master.
Do you want to shout out, send a thank you?
Thank you. Yeah, it's one of my wife's coworkers who I helped out with a laptop for him. He paid me for buying me a comic book.
Do we have
That's
his first
awesome.
name?
Chris.
Wow.
Chris Rogers.
Thanks,
Chris Rogers.
Oh, well, we gave first and last name.
I'll just.
So
do it
you're
up
on
there.
our FBI watch list.
There you go. It's fantastic. I love it. It's one of my it's
Yeah, it's a nice cover.
it's a beautiful.
Better than
it's,
cash.
It's
Yeah.
it's graded 6.0. I'm shocked that this even came into my possession.
Amazing.
Nice.
And then just meeting. Hopefully, we'll get to. My wife wants an autograph of Loki himself, who's there. What's his name? Tom.
yeah, Tom Holland. Tom
Holland.
Holland.
Nope.
No, not
Hiddleston.
that's his- but yeah,
Hiddleston.
Hiddleston. So I'm looking forward to getting his signature. And that's it. I don't know.
Nice.
Walking around and checking out all the new stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yep. What about you, Toy Story?
Not too much.
Hopefully nothing.
No, not too much. I'm just gonna be submitting books to grade and stuff.
Nice.
Nothing too interesting.
Interesting.
How about you?
For me, not too much. I'm only going one day. You guys are going all 4, right?
I'm probably only gonna wind up going Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
If
yeah, I'm
anything,
just
I
going
may
Friday.
go Saturday later in the day, but that's a big maybe. And I'm definitely not going Sunday.
Yeah, I'm just going Friday, so I'm just gonna go around and check out some some new stuff that's coming out. Maybe a couple. I know there's CGC had a email. You can do
That's right.
signings. You could submit them.
Oh, for
So,
private signings?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's well, and grading as well.
They're doing that graded. What is it called? We got that email this week.
Private grading.
Oh, the evaluation.
on-
No evaluation.
Yeah, on-site evaluation.
Yeah, those are very helpful if anybody wants to get their books evaluated.
But yeah, they have autograph signing and grading. I know Friday night it's got to be submitted by 6:30 for Robert Kirkman. So I have.
Are you looking to get Robert Kirkman book signed?
Yeah, I have his. I don't know if it's the newest or it just came out early in the year. Die, Die, Die.
Oh yeah.
That I just finished. I have 2 copies of the that I would like to submit and have him signed for me. But
Nice.
otherwise, this is just a couple of other signatures, artists that Dawn Mateg is going to be there. Got a couple of them. Not going to get the Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn covers because they didn't. They're not here yet, so I don't think they're going to make it by Friday.
Who did those?
Dawn.
Should probably have them there. You can buy it there and just have her sent.
I already bought them because I got the 3 of them with the from Comic Elite.
So you keep those separately, and you get those signed and witnessed and submitted.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, she has Comic Elite had one. It was exclusive, the 250 covers. After that, the rest are going to be destroyed. So it's already signed and it's going to be graded. I'm not going to get that until December, but I went for the I went for the 3-pack to get that because
Gotcha.
Being the humongous Harley fan that
Yeah.
I am, I couldn't pass that one up.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm just gonna shop around and work on my my Hulk collection.
Nice.
Very nice.
What about you, TC?
I think my main focus is just going to be to kind of share and like spread, the Don't Feed the Geek Long Island Comic Guy word with people. See if we can get a lot of content out there. On the personal side, obviously, my favorite thing to do when I go to New York Comic Con is get original art. I do have Chris Campana, our boy, former Don't Feed the Geek guest, is currently in possession of my jam piece, my Spider-Man jam piece.
Nice.
I will be picking that up from him. I might be asking him to maybe give it to one person before I get there. We'll see. I haven't really even taken a look at the guest list yet. That'll probably be this weekend of kind of potential artists I want to get work done from.
So how many is that now on your Jam Piece 3?
No.
No, you got more than that.
Yeah, I have so I do have to have Joe St. Pierre fix one of the characters, but I think I have at least 6
Wow.
done. Yeah. So not a ton of big characters left. I think there's kind of guys who are like a little cut off, not full bodies. So I might even have more than 6, maybe 7, but only a few left. So I mean, I might even be able to get this thing finished with pencils this weekend.
That'd be awesome.
And
Nice.
yeah, that would be really awesome. And then I just have I have a couple blank covers like those 24-hour blanks. I have a Wonder Woman, a Superman, and the Batman. The Batman's currently still with Buzz, the artist Buzz. He did a Poison Ivy, which I still haven't seen.
He still has it?
Yeah, he still has it.
Are you getting it next week?
I messaged him, and I hopefully will. And
my
I will
God.
be bringing a couple others. So for those books, I decided I wanted each person to do like a different Batman or Superman character. For the Wonder Woman, it's just like there's not a lot of like I know like a handful. Like I don't know enough to fill up a book, so I'm actually just gonna have. I had Kreese, our buddy Kreese, do the cover on that. And I'm just gonna have different people do like their favorite Aquawoman, their favorite Wonder Woman looks. I had Aqualad in my mind because I watched the most recent episode of
I didn't
Titans.
watch anything. Don't.
Oh yeah, no, nothing happens. Aqualad is the best. Yeah, but I mean, mostly I kind of want to interact with people, kind of spread the word on our group and what we're trying to doing.
I think that's the main goal for all of us
Yeah.
anyway, because that's a big part of what we need to do.
I mean, if I find some Spider-Man books that Matt doesn't want to give me, maybe I'll check some of those out. But most of the books on my list at this point are the
Big
higher
boys.
priced ones, and I don't know if I'm ready to pull a trigger on too many of those yet. That might be a next year thing.
There you go.
I don't need to worry about that anymore.
All right, so anyone got anything else?
I'm excited to go.
just-
Oh, we do have just a follow-up announcement for anyone who missed the last episode. If you do see us there, we will be wearing our Long Island Comic Guy polo shirts. We will give you a picture of what those polo shirts look like. Maybe you'll get a full picture of all of us. Anyone who comes up to us, first 25 people get a free Long Island Comic Guy sticker.
Nice.
To stick a vinyl sticker to stick anywhere you like.
There you
You
go.
don't need to tell us where. You do with that sticker as you please.
And hopefully, eventually, we'll have more giveaways to
Yeah.
we're still filling all
I
this
have
out.
some ideas brewing about other giveaways and,
Nice.
and merch and swag
Excellent.
what we'll be sharing in the future.
Well, speaking of swag and all that, do we want to do a shout out to our friend Tom Travers, who now has a Patreon account?
Yes, we absolutely do. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah.
I was so busy at work that day that I forgot to sign up, but I am signing up for his $20 tier, which you get a free piece of artwork every month. It's a no-brainer. Like I think, was it our second episode Tom was on?
Yeah.
Go back and listen to it. I know we were early on and we were probably painful, but he was awesome on the episode.
Yeah.
But
We were painful.
You are correct there, sir.
I think we're still painful.
I think we're getting like more numb. We're more numbing than painful now. But great guy. I love him. He's actually doing some exciting stuff in art, which I don't want to, he's told us, and I'm not going to share that with
Yeah,
other
let's
people.
don't do that.
But yeah, definitely hit up his Patreon. Like for $20 a month to get a new piece of artwork each month, I think it's no brainer, including other stuff too, like other swag, stickers, prints.
Yeah.
Well worth it, guys. I think he's almost undervaluing that. That could easily be something that you could pay $50 a month for or more.
And he's
Yeah,
got other
absolutely.
he's got other tiers and all that. So check that out. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's a good guy. He's one of our close friends.
I will make sure on Monday's episode to, after we release this, to post something about where you can find that Patreon.
We need to help him out because he's
Yeah.
a good guy and he deserves some recognition on his work because it's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, make sure you look out for us at New York Comic Con. Again, follow Tom, support his Patreon. And I think that's it for me.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so until next time.
Don't be the geeks!